Hello and welcome to the ESL Go4Evolve casting series, and for some reason my audio is not muting. Ah,
You broke it?
apparently I did. No, I have my own audio on. Wow, no one told me. Anyway, guys, so this is going to be the ESL Go4Evolve number 13. With me, of course, is Admiral Nakamov, who you heard just a moment ago. And we're going to be casting as many games as we can today, because it looks like we're the only people casting today. For first match, it looks like we're going to be getting Ninja Penguins versus Bucket Boys, which I actually don't know much about Bucket Boys, but we've seen a lot of Ninja Penguins the past couple weeks. They're a very strong team, right, Eric?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching them last week. They
So,
did
and
quite well.
in previous weeks, up until last week, we saw that it basically slanted to like a 70% win rate for Hunters. And then last week, we saw Monster starting to fight back a little bit, getting to vote 45%. What did you think of last week's matches?
They were a little more one-sided than I would have liked. Even in the games where the Monsters won, it was pretty much over in about 2 or 3 minutes. So I'd like to see some closer games this week, a little more competitive play.
We'll have to see what they do. Just to go over the brackets right now, for the current setup with the ESL Go4Evolve tournament, right now we do have Apex Apocalypse getting the bye in the first round, which of course is expected because they are the #1 seed in the tournament right now. We have Phoenix versus Ta is in the next set, which is going to be a tight match because Phoenix has been fighting their way up the ladder, and so is Ta. So these are two teams that are kind of in that proving point in the PC scene, and they've been doing well getting to the corners, but they've been fighting their way to get to the semis. It'll be interesting to see how they do because they have to fight against each other, and they push their way against Apex, right? Which we saw Shenanigans, who's going to be ridiculous. So, well, as you saw last week, he pulled a lot of shenanigans and just wrecked it on that distillery matchup.
Yeah, exciting to see some more shenaniganry this week.
So, with that in mind, we look at that and we see both those teams who have been fighting their way to get to the semis are going to be fighting against each other and proving who gets to go against Apex, which would be a nice match. And then we have Survivors of Sheer versus Unicorns and the Zebra, which will be interesting. Don't know much about Unicorns and the Zebra. I actually haven't had a chance to watch many of their games, so I don't know that much about their playstyle or what goes on there, but Survivors of Sheer has always been pretty well dominant in regards to getting to the quarters as well. So I'd like to see who comes out on that one. I'm not sure. I'd be willing to put my money on Survivors of Sheer, but again, I don't know too much about 4 Unicorns and the Zebra. Who do you think's going to come out ahead in that matchup?
I think Survivors of Sheer did better last week, so I'm going to put my money on them. They did pretty well in the games that we watched. I don't know anything about 4 Unicorns and the Zebra, so I'll go with the team that I'm relatively familiar with.
Okay. And we have Gobi Samurai versus Salge in the next set. So, what do you think of that lineup? Of course, it's Gobi Samurai. Master Gobi.
Yep. I was not terribly impressed with Salge last week, but they have a higher seed, so I'll say 50-50 on that one. What's your opinion, seeds?
Well, Gobi's in like round 2, right? Like they haven't been around for that long. This is like I think their 3rd week in total. No, it's their 2nd week in total. So
Okay.
last week they actually went against Salge in round 1, and they actually lost to them, and were wiped. So
All right.
I guess that answers that question in regards to the prediction scale. It's actually funny that they got placed against each other again this week after getting placed against each other last week. So who knows? Next would be Hype versus Real Immensity Gaming. Real Immensity Gaming has been doing kinda okay. They've had some good development. They've been picking games up. I believe they actually took one game. Let me just verify that though. But Hype is Hype. They have a lot of experience. They went on the X-Bone tournament and they did okay there. So we'll have to see what they do. Although I'm putting my money on Hype though. And you know the guys on Hype rather well, don't you?
Yeah, I'm going to put my money on Hype because they have Vode, they have Bronco, 2 of the most handsome men in Evolve in any other game.
Okay. And next on the set would be Smash Bros versus Stage 3. Now, which one do you think is going to win based off of the names alone?
I'm going to say stage 3.
Stage 3? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And right now we're just joining into the next matches now. So Stage 3 versus Smash Bros. I'm going to have to agree with Stage 3. Stage 3's been doing really well. They've been getting to the semis quite consistently, and I think they almost made it to the finals. It was a really close semifinal match when they played it. So right now we're just trying to get into the game, but I'm saying Stage 3 in that one. Probably a 3-1, I'd have to say, in that set. Next would be Natural Selection versus Endurance Gaming. That one's a much closer matchup than the seeds would agree, because Natural Selection's very strong. I believe they have a hybrid monster, so he plays Kraken and Goliath.
I'm going to say natural selection on this one, but it'll be close.
Natural selection? Okay. And then
That's
we
fine.
have the game we're going to cast, which is Bucket Boys versus the Ninja Penguins. So we have the Bucket Man, the Turret Man, and then we have the Ninja Penguins from Madagascar.
Not actually from Madagascar. I had to ask.
What's up, Steve?
Are there any pro gaming teams from Madagascar? I can't think of a single one.
This game? The monster?
I'd like to. Sorry, I'm just communicating in game.
Alright.
Sorry, just in the middle of pregame.
Oh, that's
Great.
great.
I'm excited to cast some games. And we're the only people, so thank you and hello to all the new viewers.
Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Those who know, we do cast weekly on the PC ESL tournament. But yeah, so this week we actually have the Bucket Boys versus Ninja Penguins, which will be interesting. Let me actually just get that message up. Because that was last time we matched, which was when we were trying to figure out what was going on there. Dun 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 dun. I actually really wanted to cast this game.
Bucket Boys!
And as you sure there, that was Source. Wow, I can't spell today. Oh man, that was Source calling out the Bucket Boys. Because we did actually see a Laz pick up last week, and with the Bucket Boys being their name, I'm inclined to think that they're going to pick up the... I actually know this team. Oh man, I actually didn't even realize that. But I'm inclined to see that they're going to pick up Bucket. I've seen them play a bit. Actually, I've practiced with this team quite a bit, actually. So, wow, I actually didn't realize they had Kakiri on their team. I missed that. Oh well. But we'll have to see how they do against Source. Source is one of the strongest Krakens on the leaderboard. Because you see him play, and he just goes through pubs, and he just rolls over everyone. And as you saw, the Spider-Man build, anyone that watches his, where he actually went climb speed, and just proved that climb speed is viable. You just have to do a little dancing on the ledges. So,
you think we're going to see any more Lazarus this week? We saw him in one game, 100% competitive win rate.
100% win rate in competitive. So who knows? We might see him. I do love my Laz, and I think he's probably the best medic, especially in competitive scene, because of his ability to punish body camping, and it forces it forces the monster to play a specific role, and it forces them to do something they don't necessarily want, right?
Oh yeah. So while we're on the topic of unusual picks, do you think there's been any sort of meta shifts? Any teams going to be trying on some pocket strats in the first round here?
Well, I've had some people telling me that things are going to be changing up this week in regards to monster play.
Mm-hmm.
So we should be expecting at least one behemoth this week to pop in. We'll see
that's
how he
exciting.
does. I don't.
Bucket Boys!
No, I'm not sure if he's going to perform well.
You guys are competing again.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
the
I'm not
monster
sure.
win rate from last week was pretty low. You said it was about 30%. So obviously the monsters are going to want to be trying something new to deal with the hold arena strat. What about the hunters? Do you think they're going to keep playing what works? They're going to try to adjust to make it even easier to win?
I'm not sure if what works is the correct way to put it. It's just so highly effective, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and it's not more so what your choices are in regards to classes. It's more so just the play style that comes with that. So you can kind of mix match and get different things, and depending on what slight variances you want or what outcome you want, you have a lot more control over what happens. But with the meta the way it is right now, you see that the importance of medics and their ability to sustain, heal, and protect people isn't as critical now. So we're probably going to see more offensive lineups, which is where, as you mentioned, Laz comes into play, is because he's one of the best offensive medics.
Yeah. So you think we're going to be seeing less Kyra and everything this week? It's going to be much more of the offensive medics. Maybe some more. What's his name? The Bug Man. Maybe some more Lazarus.
I don't know. We'd have to see. Who knows? We might actually see a Bucket this game, because Bucket, in theory, if you actually look at the numbers, is the highest damage potential person in the game. He is the highest consistent damage in the game, because his turret steal, I believe it's 111 damage on his rocket barrage, and I believe it's 80 damage per second on his missiles.
Yeah.
So
That's
since the days where we saw the last minute triple team at the beginning of the tournament, and then we saw the way that it was developing a more defensive lineup out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and nowadays we're seeing a lot more offense coming out of the Hunter team, which actually comes with the development of meta. You see things get shifted from defense, where people are developing their meta, trying to find out where things stand and holding their ground. Now we're starting to see them push forward and push against the monster and getting control of the map, right? As we saw with the previous barracks. so we're gonna have to see what happens. Although I honestly don't think Bucket's gonna be picked first round, but we'll have to see what happens.
I'd like to see him. It's always fun to see the unusual picks there. So you have to ask if the hunters themselves are going towards a more offensive lineup with an offensive medic and offensive support. Do you think that kind of says that the monster is going to want to try to fight them more? He's going to want to be more aggressive, or is he going to want to keep doing what he's been doing and just try to get that level to evolve and fight in the dome?
We'll probably be able to see what's going on in that, and I actually realized you actually can't see anything right now, so I need to make sure you can see things.
Yes, please. I would like to see everything.
That's who
Awesome.
their last one is. Collab. Who's... interesting.
Okay, looks like we're just about ready to get into the game.
Yep.
That's
We're
exciting.
just about ready to go, guys. We're getting started. It says matches getting reset up. First match is going to be on fair weather, obviously. Difficulty balance, wildlife population set to normal, round length set to default. So we will have to see what's going on.
All right, let me get the chat off to the side. I would like to say hello to
go.
chat. I'm actually relatively new here. This will be my second week casting. So, very excited to be here. Really excited to meet all of you guys.
Alright, guys, and we are getting ready to go in game. And we are getting into lobby, so we're going to do a quick fade in, fade out for audio and editing, and then we'll be good to go. Be back in just a moment.